Hey, this is JJ with Deluxe Vehicle Detailing and Paint Correction. I am going to go over the color and drive touch-up paint system. I'm going to show you what you get. I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to show you the results I've got, and then I'm going to show you the actual application and how I go about it. So stay tuned. So I'm going to give you just a brief overview. There is spot number 37. It is a very small chip in the center. You can probably see. Put a little light on it. Now you can see it real good in the center. And I started with number 1, and I just filled this in. You can see in the center there. Let me see if I can change the lighting. So you can see that it's catching. It's still a bit indented in. It is not all filled in to the height of the paint. You could probably keep doing some layers and do that. This job came in and he said there was just a few scratches that he wanted touched up, few rock chips. And I'm like, okay, a few rock chips, added it into the price. And then I met with the client and his wife yesterday, and then they started walking around, and I lost track after like 12, and I'm like, okay, so we've got more than a few. And then I walked around after I did the wash and the prep and stuff yesterday, and I came up with 37. So it's a little more time consuming, and of course it's going to cost more, but they are getting ready to sell this car to friends of theirs, and they want it looking spectacular. So I'm just going to give you a brief as I'm set up. I'm working, I'm trying to get done here and get on with my day. I've got, interior pieces going on. I did the full, since I'm giving you an overview, this engine bay was incredibly filthy yesterday. They're like, no, we don't want to sell our friends car like that. So everything is all beautiful. I know you don't need to see this, but just showing you what I've got going on. And I want to, get on with my day. So the color and drive kit comes with instructions. They're very small. Don't try and even read these, but they're fairly good. The wording isn't good. If you're, needing peepers, you're going to need them to read that. Some good lighting. I use a headlamp. I've got my paint correction light that I used before. This is my auto marker, wet wipe marker. I got this on Amazon probably 2 years ago or so, and it's just great when you've got rock chips so you don't miss stuff and you want to know how many so that you can, do 1 and then 2 and then 3 and, don't screw yourself up, down here on the bumper, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you mark them out. You want to clean everything with their very special focus, correct and clear. This is the step 2, but it's actually the step 1. I use all the time some Q-tips, and I get in there and I scrub, see, some dirt, things like that. You want to make sure it's real clean. So prep it first. The kit comes with 4 brushes. It is a guaranteed to match paint. And I found that to be right on the dot as I showed you. I've got my 91 50-50 isopropyl alcohol in a little glass dish so that I am cleaning my brushes as I go. This is, a nicer, smaller brush. These brushes, they kind of are just okay. But I've got a box of lots of different brushes for different size jobs. These are really nice. I picked them up at a Michael's, like, one of those stores where they've got all the crafty things in them and that. I got lots of, tools to use. And speaking of tools to use, I also have these King Art, which I've been liking. It's a needle. Let me get you in here. And the needle, take the rubber cap off, is very, very fine. Focus. Maybe not. So the needle is very fine, and you fill this section. I use these little 3 mil graduated disposable eyedroppers. Drop some paint into here, and then you can just touch this into especially fine, cracks and lines and things like that, and dispense your paint. I also have, by TCP Global, another system. It's a two-way paint system. You've got kind of a heavier application. This is the brush, and then you've got this needle if you want to get into really tight spots, and you can switch this around. Another great product. I use this. I'll try, and if you want to freeze frame that, try and get you in there. It explains it much better than I can. But it's it's nice. Again, you put the paint in this, you get your ball, make it sure it's nice and mixed, and you can never have too many paint applications. I picked these up on Amazon, and they are a very fine tip, great for dotting into rock chips. I've been using this Micro Auto Group Incorporated off eBay. This is for the Emola Red BMW. I'm going to do some work on when I have time. I've been jamming lately, but great source for paint. Another great source for paint is the Auto Depot. They've got a lot of nice products. They give you full instructions. I give you a little view of the autopaintdepot.com. They're in New York. And they also sell straight up clear coat. Get it on UV resistant. So they've got some great products. If you've got big things that you need to fill in, Bondo makes this glazing and spot putty. Another popular option is Dr. Color Chip. I'm going to be using this on a very extensive kind of restoration detail on a 2010 Corvette. That video will be coming up sometime after this. Client gave me Forever Black off Amazon. Well, I'm going to give it a try. So the kit is pretty complete. I have shown you all of the first steps, and this is a gift. It's a little bit of wax. Really nice. Here's what they call the card trick. And this is not only a business card, but it's used for surfacing, flattening the paint after the touch-up application. So, again, there's the QR code. Color and Drive customer service. There you go. Everything you wanted to know and more. So far, like, I just used it on one color chip and one touch-up. And, right below that number one, if you're just looking at it in this light, yeah, you can see that it's a little indentation. Am I going to go and, build up and go over all 37 and stuff? No, I just want to make this look better. I'm not, going to get, at show car type level. But I will say one thing very important that I did notice. This is kind of a special paste. It is a non-abrasive. It's also a gift. It comes in the kit as well. You know, you get this kind of towel that I'll show you later. Kind of an odd, strange type towel for removing. You kind of smear it on. You can kind of go heavy and use your finger and smear it, kind of like Dr. Color Chip, and then you come around with the cleaning solution like Dr. Color Chip, and you take off the excess. But the little polish, it said put on on the microfiber towel, which is provided in the kit, as well as a set of gloves, and use the paste to refine and blend the area. And I did this. I gave the paint 3 minutes to dry, and I went over it, and you know, around the area, it just looked a little funny. So I'm going to give you kind of a heads up if you're going to try this kit out. I don't know if it was, you know, kind of a little bit of marring from just this weird towel or what, but I went over and over. It said you may need to use it 3 times. And anyway, yeah, I went and said, well, this refining non-abrasive paste that's made to kind of blend the areas, and it was kind of hard to see, and perhaps it'll come up when I do this next spot and do the demonstration. But anyway, I rubbed just a little bit with the microfiber with that paste and buffed it with the, you know, clean side of the towel, and voila, it looked perfect. So I'm real happy with that. Is there a little indentation? Yeah, that's really hard to build up with paint layers. That's a deep chip, and really that could have, you know, probably had some, you know, filler in it and stuff too. It was a heavy duty rock. So anyway, I'm going to set you down. There's my camera stand, and I'm going to put you on it, and we are going to do this, which is the number 12 chip. All right. All right, so right here underneath the 12, we've got a, missing paint rock chip. This does not feel very deep to me. This is the opposite end of my artist brush, by the way. So I'm just using it as a pointer. There's another little chip right next to it. And I have got the paint here. I have shook it up very well. I do suggest you put something that can get some paint on it. Like I have some saran wrap on my little table off camera. So I've just dipped, it into it. And I have my headlamp on. So unlike that first one, which was deep, I'm just kind of lightly going around the edges. I'm going to fill that little chip right there. Now, that little card says, oh, you can use the card trick and flatten it. It suggests also that you can just take your gloved finger and smear it. I'm trying to kind of build it up into that chip and get this one pretty flush with the paint surface. I just took a real light dip in that again. So it says that this paint dries within 40 seconds to 5 minutes, depending on humidity and temperature. I have turned off my fans and my air conditioning unit just for a little better audio quality. I'm pretty happy with that right there. I've got my little glass container, the isopropyl alcohol 50/50 with distilled water. Seems to affect it pretty good. I wouldn't say it like super cleans it, but I see that it comes out of the brush quite well. And then you can just take a, towel and kind of clean your brush after each application. So, Alexa, set timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, starting now.
I'm going to bring you back in 3 minutes. So once I got my glasses on, I see that I've kind of built this up. Suggest using the card trick. Surface flattening after touch-up application. It's been about a minute. So I'm going to just take this card and I am going to flatten. You can see some of the paint came off there. And flatten that paint a little bit, which actually looks like it came out pretty good. There's the paint that came off the first time. A little bit of paint, kind of had a little extra buildup. But what this step 2, correct and clear, which is also your cleaner, it's before you start. So it's kind of 1, 2, and the paint is 2, and then 3, depending on how you look at it. So anyway, if you make a mistake, if you have some kind of boo-boo, you can use this and kind of start all over again. If you don't like the way it looks, put some. I'm still going to stick with this very odd looking cloth that they provided. And can't even quite tell what corner I used. But you know, it's probably been 2 minutes. It says 40 seconds to 5 minutes. My temperature is about 81 with a probably 45. Okay, so now it's been 3 minutes. Alexa, off timer. So I've added some onto this, and you want to lightly rub if you've got some outside of the paint surface. This will kind of melt it off. Now, the smeary effect that I saw on my first application that I didn't like and I tried to get off, and it says you're going to have to do this. You can see some paint from my first application. This is a little paint off from this application. So I'm just going to go to a clean surface here. I'm going to put a little more of the product on. Pretty nice dropper on this. I keep it closed. It probably evaporates quite quickly because it's probably some sort of solvent, isopropyl alcohol. So when I wipe this, I just kind of notice a smeariness in the areas around it. Now, I took a regular microfiber, well, not one of my microfibers, but the microfiber that was provided. And I don't know how well that will come off in camera, but the area around where I worked now looks dull and looks like smeary paint. And I don't know if I'm just kind of, you know, taking the wax that was on the car off, but it still just doesn't look right to me. It just looks odd. I'm going to do one more time. It says you can, you know, do this 3 times. I'm going to try and just stay in this little area, wipe it, and then dry it off with a microfiber. And everywhere that I did, put the correction light on and see if that helps your vision. I can't really see what you're able to see right now. So it looks okay. It's a little below the surface of the paint clear coat. But I'll show you what I found. using this as they call gift, and this would be, kind of the fourth step. They also add the wax, so it's a 5-step process. Give this a good shake up. And this is a non-abrasive, I forget the wording they used, but it kind of acts as a blending paste. So I've got some on my microfiber. Rub this in, and I can see just this, area all around the work area just looks hazy and different. Now this is supposed to help blend. This paste is a special paste, and I'm just going to rub that in. Take a clean little section, buff it, and now all that haziness is gone, and what is left is the paint. Now, in the center of that, when I look at it just right, I can see the metal, because this was through the clear coat, through the paint, through the primer, and it was shiny metal. So I can see that shiny metal in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my special little towel, put 5 drops onto there. I'm going to clean this up since I just used the paste on it, and I can see a little bit more of the metal come through because this will remove the paint, right? And that haziness reappears. So whatever this product is, it, or maybe it's the towel giving me a little bit of micro marring, but it doesn't really look like that. It just leaves a little something behind. I'm going to come back in. Here's my paintbrush. It is a little stuck together. Perhaps the isopropyl, not the greatest paint thinner. Maybe I'll grab some mineral spirits as I'm working here. So although it's covered, it's so thin that now, I'll give you a little view. Hopefully you can see a little bit of metal right in the center. There's 2 little metal areas. And I am going to try to build this up a little bit. That little one is good. And there I have filled it in. I'm going to dab just a tiny bit and go and just kind of lightly touch that in, because we're dealing with touch-up paint. So I have my peepers on, and it looks pretty good, and it does have that smeary effect from using the clear, what is it called? Correct and clear. Yeah, correct and clear. So I'm going to show you that, it's not really dissolving the paint. The paint is coming off in the bottom of this glass. It's a white car and clear glass, and I know it probably doesn't come up that good. Again, maybe mineral spirits is the appropriate thing. It doesn't list anything that I saw about what to use for cleaning your brushes as you go. So, put the cap back on the paint. Since this is a very quick drying paint, definitely don't want to leave your cap off long. Alexa, set timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, starting now.
I'll bring you back. Okay, so the 2-minute timer went off. While I was waiting for the 2 minutes, in this area right here, see that okay? Yeah. In this area right here, I went and took and wiped with this towel with the Correct and Clear just to see what it would do in this spot, and it didn't make that hazy spot. I wiped it with a microfiber and it looks perfect. So the paint just, I don't know, it just kind of smears with that Correct and Clear. I'm going to go with the shorten out microfiber towel that they provide, and I'm just going to see what I got when I wipe this lightly. You don't want to wipe your paint out. And then I'm going to go just a little harder and work around the edges. And I'm hoping that this microfiber will kind of pick that paint off a little better. I can maybe see why they want you to use, this type of non-nap. I don't know what material this is made of. It's very, very odd to me. But, you can kind of go over and you leave the paint in there, kind of like the Dr. Color chip system. So that looks okay. Not great. It's a little lumpy. I'm going to try and get those edges with the Correct and Clear a little bit. This might be a good time to kind of finesse the edges a little with the help of, you could use a popsicle stick or anything. That smeariness continues to be smeary. I'll try and pick it up with the microfiber. So it looks okay. It's smeary near the spot, but it's not too bad. It's not real smooth. I've gone with it twice. The metal's not showing through now as I have my glasses and I can see. So again, I would highly suggest that you then bust out the gift paste, which is designed for this system. So I'm going to keep with it because it's giving me, perfect results of getting that smeariness out there, and it's supposed to incorporate, a good blend. So I'm just going to go over this, do a little quick buffing. Take the clean portion, buff that spot that I experimented on. Got real light pressure on this. And voila. There it is, folks. I'm pretty happy with this. It's always hard. I told the guy, hey, look, it'll never look factory fresh. It'll always look like a touch-up job. There's a little bit of buildup outside of the chip. It's just going to have to be what it is. Touch-ups are what they are. He bought the kit. He wanted me to use it. I give it a thumbs up. There's probably a little work that needs to be done to really master it. This is just my second one here. So I've got 36 more spots to do. I'm going to get to work. I'll bring you back when I'm finished. Well, alrighty then. I've got my headlamp on, And this is, I'm going to grab my correction light here because I shadow my headlamp. So this is the first one we looked at. You know, after the, I think that that paste is really important. You know, for whatever reason, I was kind of, you know, still having a little bit of smear with the wiping, even if you did it 1, 2, 3 times as suggested. I played around with the drying times. See, some of these, I'd be hard pressed to have you even see them with the paint correction light. That one's kind of easier to see. I played around with this system, did a couple dots. There's one there. Trying to get it to fill in was a challenge. This one came out pretty nice. I would definitely do the buffing after. Center of the screen. Center. I'm even having trouble seeing them. You know, these are, here's the one we worked on. This is how it came out. Is it beautiful and perfect? No. Does it look better than exposed metal that's going to rust? Yes. There's another. All right. So this was on the edge of this. I popped the hood. Got this. Lighting. Yeah. So you can see. Focus. Anyway. You get what I mean. You know, it works. This had a little crease along here. When I hold the paint correction sideways like this, you know, it makes everything stand out. But if you're just, you know, here's me a few feet away, I mean, you know, touch-up paint is always going to be that kind of few feet away thing. Here's me pretty much straight on with the light. The spot is right above the 19. I'm having a hard time there. You can kind of see it. And get the lighting out here. I mean, I can make it pop up a little more. I have a little dent here with some in it. Here, I got one right on the edge of the door. See a little there. So, you know, it's never going to be perfect. Don't expect that, you know, you're going to have factory results with really any kind of touch-up. It's tedious. I'd put myself at probably total time. You know, I walked away from it a couple times and I wasn't, you know, being as diligent with my timekeeping. I didn't get that little spot right there yet. But anyway, you know, I mean, this is number 37 here. So, you know, for 37 spots, hey, came out pretty nice. Car looks way better. I'm going to be really happy. Trust me, all these numbers come off real easy. You can let them sit there for weeks. I have, and I experimented with a hood in the back. So don't worry about that. Get yourself that lavender marking pen. Sometimes I just do dots, you know, by the chips, and that way it just draws my attention to it. So while I'm going around, it's kind of nice to number them. And, you know, when you're showing a client that kind of stuff, a little bird etching there, you know, then you can go, hey, look, it's, you know, 37. So anyway, I am going to bust out this interior. I've already done, you know, some of the work. Got to catch the windows. All good. I will be back with you on the next video. Thank you for being a part of my channel. Hit the bell. Bing! Be a subscriber. Check out all my videos. I've got like, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks worth of stuff coming up. Do some reviews. Do the Dr. Color Chip. This restoration on the Corvette's going to be amazing. So anyway, I thank all of you. I just realized I'm blinding you. I thank all of you. And I'm sorry about blinding you. Until next time, do all the things you need to do. Thanks for being part of my channel. And I will see you on the flip side at some point.